As some of you know, South America is a quote-unquote continent that has the largest river in the world, depending on who you ask, and the river is the Amazon. What you may not know is that it is far from the most important river in the continent, and today I'm going to show you the 5 most important rivers in South America. This video will rank them from least to most important, and the way to measure how important they are will be how many people they and their tributaries support, so let's get started. Number 5. The first river on this list lies in the north of the continent. The other major river east of the Andes, apart from the Amazon, is the Orinoco. Even though not a lot of people live near it, it is included in this list because the whole country's economy is dependent on it, and the country is Venezuela. The Orinoco is important because it contains the world's largest oil reserve, and its basin is home to more or less 5.7 million people across 7 states in Venezuela, and almost 2 million people in Colombia across 6 departments, making the Orinoco Basin home to both 7.7 million people and housing many important cities across these two countries, such as Mérida, Ciudad Bolívar, Guayana City, and many others. Most of the transportation and commerce between these cities is done via the Orinoco by boat. Number 4. Next up on the list is the Magdalena River, which is located solely in the aforementioned country of Colombia. And even though it is the smallest one on the list, it is a vital river of the country. It occupies only 24% of its area, but it houses 66% of its population, or about 34 million people. On the river basin, Colombia's 3 most important cities are located, them being Bogotá, Medellín, and Barranquilla. The last one sits on the mouth of the river, one that was once a delta, but now it is a man-made canal. Since it lies on such an important region to the country, the infrastructure there is very developed compared to other parts of the country, and the main mode of transportation between the cities is a car, not the boat as in the Orinoco Basin. Number 3. This one might surprise you by not being the most important, but there is many reasons that it is here and not at the top. And the river is the Amazon River. Although it could be considered the longest river in the world, it is the river with the biggest volume, and the second place is not even close to reaching the amount of water the Amazon puts out. For you to have an idea how much bigger it is than the rest, it puts out 5 times more water than the Congo River, which is the second on the list. And the 20 largest rivers discharged on the planet, a quarter of them, or about 5, are tributaries to the Amazon. It is home to about 35 million people, most of them living in Brazil. The biggest city on the actual river is Manaus. One of its tributaries, the largest river, is in Bolivia, and it is called Santa Cruz de la Sierra. It is home to 2.4 million people, about 400,000 more people than Manaus. Think of the Amazon River and its tributaries as a nervous system of the human body. The Amazon River itself is a spine, and all these countless tributaries are the nerves that branch out from it. Instead of transporting electric signals to the body, this quote-unquote nervous system transports people and goods, since infrastructure in this part of the world is very precarious. For you to have an idea of how little infrastructure there is, even though Brazil shares a massive border with Colombia, there are no highways or even major roads that link these two countries together. So pretty much all trade, be it legal or not, since Colombia has a problem with cartels and drugs, but that's a story for another time, is made by boats on the watershed of the Amazon. One of the most popular ways of linking the 2 most important cities of the Amazon, being them Belém and Manaus, is by boat. On a trip it takes approximately 3.5 days by boat, compared to 4 if you choose to go by the very hazardous Trans-Amazon Highway. Number 2. The next river on this list is the biggest one that lies solely in Brazil. This river is named after the founder of the Catholic Franciscan Order, Saint Francis of Assisi. The river, aptly named Saint Francis River, is a lifeline of the most populous semi-arid area on the planet, the Caatinga. With an approximate population of 40 million, people that live on its rivershed and a few that live outside of it but still rely on the old Francis for water. The St. Francis is often called the river of national integration because it links the rich southeastern parts of Brazil with the poor northeastern regions, giving these 2 very different regions a chance to communicate and conduct trade in what would otherwise be impossible to do so. The river is not used a lot for transportation anymore because for it to be able to remain at stable levels during the dry seasons, the government had to create a series of dams along its course. On these reservoirs, you can take your boat and out and enjoy the beautiful canyons and beaches that lie on shores that can rival the most beautiful the Lake Powell offers. Number 1. The most important river by far in South America is the Paraná River, not to be confused with the Brazilian state of the same name. This river can also be called the La Plata River or Rio de la Plata in Spanish, explaining why the basin is called the Platin Basin and not the Paraná Basin. The river and its watersheds are so important that the bloodiest war in South America's history was fought over it. This war is called the Paraguay War, and was fought between the namesake country, of the war in the countries that constitute the Triple Alliance: Brazil, Argentina, and Uruguay. This war was so deadly that left Paraguay without 95% of its main population and a total of 440,000 dead on all sides of the conflict, but that's a story for another time. On the Potosí Basin lies the capitals of 4 countries and the 2 largest cities in South America, them being the gigantic São Paulo and Buenos Aires, Argentina's capital city. Along with these 2 monstrous number areas, it also has on its boundaries the capital of Brazil, Uruguay, the whole country of Paraguay, and a large portion of Bolivia's territory. Just based on the 3 largest cities in the basin, it has a population of 41 million people, but that doesn't even account for even half of its population, since it lies on the most densely populated part of the continent. The river is a vital part of southern and South America because it allows for different cultures to flourish and interact with each other. It also provides countries that share its water to make electricity by hydropower. The once largest hydropower in the world is the conjoined effort with the Paraguayan and Brazilian government, the Itaipu Dam. This dam provides nearly all of Paraguay's energy and about 90% of Brazil's. On some exceptionally wet years, it can even be the Three Gorges Dam in China and be the largest hydropower dam on the planet. This river also plays a very important role in the continent's trade, sometimes even called the gateway to South America, since it has such a large watershed that encompasses the continent's largest cities, making it important for exporting and importing goods. Thanks for watching. That was a list of the 5 most important rivers in South America. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe to watch more videos like it.